Hi, welcome back to Layton's Hollow. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the Great Pyrenees, and especially if you're new Pyrenees owners and you're trying to house train your puppy. Now, training Great Pyrenees can be a little challenging sometimes, but I found that house training was very simple and easy. Now, some dogs are easier than others. Logan, he never even peed in the house, not even once, not even when he was a puppy. He was trained almost on his own. Stormy was good. Misha was good. I never had a problem with any of my three. I can't remember any of them having a mess in the house. I think Misha peed in the house once, but that was it. So, training the Great Pyrenees, like I said, could be challenging. But dogs don't want to defecate where they live. They're a very clean animal. They will always want to go somewhere away where they're not going to smell their own feces or anything else. So the trick with the Great Pyrenees is to keep them on a schedule, especially when they're like 10 weeks old, right up till, 3 months, 4 months, about 5 months old. You should have your puppy trained within a week anyway, without too much of a problem. This is my big Logie here. He sees the treat in my hand. I just wanted to get the dogs in the camera so you guys can see my dogs. Their treat today is chicken breast. This is Misha. She's just over a year old now. This is Logie. He's 8. And Stormy is 7. These are my Great Peas. So yeah, they're good puppies. So yeah, keep your dogs on a routine. You feed them the same time every day. And you should be feeding them the same food every day. A little treat here and there won't hurt. But you feed them, you give them 5 minutes. When they're done eating, you bring them outside. You bring them to the same place. Very important. Same place. And you just, sometimes it'll take a little bit of time before they'll go. But for me, it was a little simpler because what I did when I trained my dogs for the house, like my dogs are both LGD dogs and house pets. They come in the house when it's really hot outside because they don't like the heat too much. So they like to be inside when it's like that. So they had to be house trained. But what I did for mine is I kept them on a routine. I waited 5 minutes after they were done eating. I'd bring them outside. But I didn't have to stay with them to put them in one place. I just put them outdoors and let them go. Because they have acres to run around and my property is all fenced for the dogs. So that's the different thing that I did. But if you're in town and you have to keep your dog on a leash, when you bring them outside to go potty, make sure you go to the same place all the time. That's important. Another important thing is don't get upset with your dog if he has an accident in the house, especially if you didn't see him doing it or catch him doing it. Now, if you catch a puppy doing something, you don't get mad with him. You just pick him up, bring him outside, and you bring him to the same spot. After you do that 2-3 times, they'll know what they're supposed to do. Pyrenees is a pretty smart dog. I can tell you that right now from experience. And I've trained a lot of my puppies that went to their new homes already house trained. That's how quick it is to train these guys. Stop. He's growling at the other dogs because he wants all the treats to himself. You be a good boy, don't do that, or you won't get any. So yeah, I know, and I've had a few people that got in contact with me and saying they're having so many problems and blah, 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 but the thing is patience with these guys. Very simple to, Logie, if you're going to be greedy, I'm going to take you off the deck. He's growling at the other two because he wants the treats all to himself. This big guy, he lives for his gut. No being greedy. You growl, you don't get any. I know, I talk to my dogs like they're people, but I pretty much treat them like people anyway. But they're good. They don't give me too much of a problem. So yeah, those are the basics. Now, there's certain things that you should never do with any breed. And that is if your puppy has an accident in the house. Okay. GPs, what are you going to do? Stop barking. What are you barking at, you crazy dog? I think you heard a butterfly fart over in the woods somewhere. That's the GPs for you. Any sound at all, and they like to go off. Okay, I'll get back to the subject. If your puppy has an accident in the house, do not, and I can't stress this enough, do not rub their nose in it. That is a definite no-no. Never, ever, ever do that. For one thing, you can make your puppy sick, and it will not treat them anything. Logie, stop. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics. It's very simple. Keep them on a routine. Bring them to the same place all the time. The other thing is make sure when they do go to potty for you, you praise them, you really love them up, maybe even give them a small treat. That's pretty much it. That's the basics. I mean, GPs, like I said before, are very smart animals, or dogs. Now, people say, oh, they're just stubborn, that means they're dumb. No, they're smart because GPs think most of the time before they do anything. So yeah, this is my big old bear, Logie. It's warm here today on Prince Edward Island. I think it's about 18 degrees. That these guys spend a good portion of their day in the shade, digging holes, lying in cool dirt. So yeah, I hope that helped you out with your training of, or potty training of the Great Pyrenees. Those are the basics. It's very simple, easy to do, and the trick is be consistent. First thing, you have to understand, a puppy can only hold his pee for so long. So it's important to take them out. Now, I'm not a big supporter of cages for Great Pyrenees. For one thing is, I don't think the cages come big enough. I didn't use them for my Great Pyrenees. I used them for my miniature schnauzers that we used to have. We still have one. He's 16 years old now. He spends most of his days in the house. He's almost deaf, and he's starting to go a little blind. But other than that, he's still very healthy. Still, he goes out, runs around, plays with Misha, even though we try not to let her play with him too much because she's a lot bigger than he is, and she's a little rough. So yeah, I hope you have good luck training your puppy. I think it's the most important thing is patience. Don't get upset if they have accidents in the house. Like I said, just pick them up, put them outside in the same place. When they do their job outside, praise them. Basic, simple, easy. And I know a few people who had problems training their Great Pyrenees to go outdoors, and it wasn't the Pyrenees' fault, because every time I ask them, well, do you do the same thing every day? And that's after I've talked to them, personally talked to them, and told them exactly what to do. But he says, you know, sometimes we just don't have the time to do it. Well, you can't blame that on the dog. That's not the dog's fault. They're just puppies. It's like having a baby. You can't expect them to do what you want all the time. And if you expect the Great Pyrenees to do what you want all the time, then I don't think the breed's for you. These guys are thinkers. They work problems out on their own. They don't need us. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Maybe consider subscribing and smash that like button. Leave me a message and let me know how's it going with your puppies. And I hope you're having some great success. And thanks for watching again.